Hi there. So, this is my very first proper attempt at building a settlement. And it's an operator settlement at Costal Cottage. I know I typically don't talk in my videos, but I feel it's necessary this time around to explain some of the finer details and why I incorporated some items into the settlement, as well as how I managed to fit it all into my roleplay. If you're not interested in hearing me talking, I can only recommend that you skip ahead or mute me. Do whatever you wish. But if you'd like to know why I did everything I did, I'd recommend that you put up with me. That being said, let's continue. So we'll start off with the entrance. See typical raider decorations, with the exception of dead bodies and heads on pikes, as the operators are a tad more civilized and don't engage in those decorations. Got your post box here with a mannequin pointing to it, with a postman's hat on. Other outposts could deliver messages in here if they needed to. Doctor's office with some visual cues, as some raiders don't even know how to read, so there you go. You'll find that since these raiders came from Nuka-world, they brought some Nuka-Cola themed items with them. They actually came from the Nuka-cafe creation and the creation club, but hey. In my book, they could have easily come from Nuka-world. And you have all your torture equipment and slave collars here. The Doctor may heal people up, but the Doctor also has another use when it's a raider Doctor. Some of the recovering patients could see this as a form of entertainment. So you have some laser turrets here. The operators are more proficient with their tech, but the story is here that they salvaged this equipment from the galactic zone in Nuka-world. Also brought some lounges over from the beach, somewhere to relax after a hard day's raiding. They've got their chem dealer and booze still. They do have some freebies on display, but not too many items, as chem addicts are unpredictable and can cause some problems. Here, as you can see, they've got the triple-barreled handmade shotgun there, in case anyone gives them grief. Here we have a Breaking Bad style RV for them to produce their chems. All the equipment they'll ever need is here, including their hazmat suits, notes of their inventory and sales. They also use this place to stash the overboss's armour. These guys aren't known for creating power armour, but if they need to work on any, they can do. This is their shower, which they can also use to clean their clothes. As I said, the operators are a more civilised bunch, and they do tend to be cleaner and more organised. As well as a toilet. You may have heard some characters refer to pre-war money in the Fallout universe as toilet paper, so I thought I'd put a little reference to that in here. Here you have a small garden. Raiders do hate gardening, I know, but occasionally they bring a slave in here to help them cultivate some more ingredients to create their chems. Got some nice tall fences here to try and counter the problem of the high ground some attackers may have, as well as counter those overpasses that the gunners have, so they can't easily get a snipe in. I quite like these scarecrows. Let's have a searchlight here. It's in the unlikely event that someone managed to sneak in, they can't just hide in the bushes. They will be spotted. Here you have a firing range. Pick that up if you want to. For some reason one of the operators is standing around here. Guess maybe he's setting up some of the props. You can see they brought some of the Nuka-world themed items along with them to use as target practice as well. Use some of their empty bottles as well. You can even find some broken glass that's been spread from breaking the bottles. There's a small opening in the wall here. Nobody can get through because of all those spikes and barbed wire. However, if someone happens to stumble along that hole, whether it be an attacker or some unfortunate soul, they can use them as target practice too. You can see that I've used some glass in the settlement. The reason for that is because these raiders are shaking down Greentop Nursery. They have themselves a nice little greenhouse there. And they took some of the panes of glass from there and decided to use it for their own settlement. That's my story anyhow. Find some spare props here that they'll put up when some of them get worn down. Try not to get too close to this one though. Moving on to the rebuilt house here. Only operators are allowed inside this house. They brought over an employees only sign from Nuka-world. They do like their Nuka-Cola dark as well, so I brought some of that along with them. This came with the original settlement, so it gave a nice vibe, Raider-esque vibe. Yeah, they might like to play checkers, make a little drinking game out of it with some of the caps they earn. As I said, the operators are a little bit more civilised. They might like to gather books for research purposes, or even entertainment purposes. They have their scav magazines here, although the magazine rack isn't really behaving itself right now. You can see they have some more Nuka-Cola themed items they brought over from Nuka-world. They didn't use Nuka-Cola themed curtains this time. They brought these over from the parlour, as well as scavenge any other posh items they can find, such as these paintings, or lots of plants and picture frames and posh tables. Here they might sit around and plan their next raid or heist or whatnot. Make notes, have a little drink, chill, if need be. Here they have a little bit of a problem with Mirelurks from time to time, since they are right by the sea. So put some of their favourite trophies up on the wall. Might not be very nice to wake up to if you're on the top bunk of this bed. As you can see, some of the house is blue, some of it is red. The raiders can't really decide what to paint it. They've got a little table here for that. And this wet paint sign came directly from Nuka-world as well. I believe it's in the Kiddie Kingdom, and Oswald the Outrageous puts it up in the area where he likes to paint the ghouls. To make sure it was all nicely supported so it didn't seem off. Now, like I said, the operators, they are a little bit more savvy with their tech. But the reason why this fusion generator is here is because there's a small hideout just down here, which has one of these fusion generators. So what these raiders decided to do is they decided to disassemble it and bring it back here to power their own settlement. Because why not? Took some care to make sure that these boards here didn't clip into the fusion generator. I'm not a big fan of clipping. Obviously I did have to clip some items, but as long as it looks okay, it isn't too obvious, I'll let it slide. Or if there's a good reason, such as these cloth structures, which need to be drilled into the walls here in order to actually be supported. As you can see, they're still working on rebuilding this house, so they brought some of their gear up to do some easy construction. Need to get a slave to do it for them. Also might work on this turret a little bit. If you look closely, you can see this mannequin is holding a pack of cigarettes. Moving forward, you've got the guard post. This will cover the whole area around the settlement. We've got some dummy decoys up here, so if they have any attacks, they might attack the wrong person, and the operators will get even more of an upper hand. Got some items to keep track of the time. Got all the armaments and ammo that they'll need here. And a little stealth boy. And a missile launcher, of course. You also see that they've set up a bunch of raider pikes. Again, to try and counter the high ground advantage. Now, these raiders may not like to put heads on pikes and whatnot. They leave a horrible smell around the settlement. However, from time to time, they will need to set an example. That's what these gallows are for. Some turrets and spikes to counter any potential attackers. Guard might stand here on guard. Guard post there. Also wander upstairs and use the guard's tower. There's a raider radio amplifier there, which you may not hear in this video. But yes, this is a workshop for working on weapons, armour, or further building to the settlement. They've got pretty much everything they'll need here. These shelves came with a stock settlement. I quite like them, so I thought I'd try and put them to use. We've got a mannequin here with a welding helmet. Got a water pump here. The business of purifying water is quite lucrative. These operators are smart and they know that and want to take advantage of that. Plus, they can also use it in their bar here. Got some lights here just to light up the liquor sign. Place to cook their meats. Chillax a little bit. This little bar was inspired by a small area outside the parlour in Nuka-world. You can take a look at that. This mannequin draped over the bin with an umbrella in his hands is taken directly from there. I really like that, so I thought I'd do the same. Gage is sitting down having some mole rat stew.
No need to worry, boss. We've got your back. Understanding the operators ain't hard. We know how to live. The other gangs, dying is more their strong suit.
Now, it may look like I'm finished, but that is not all. There is a secret area to this settlement, and that is the safe room. The decontamination arch here, and this is the area where the raiders stash their most valuable gear. Hopefully it won't be stolen. And the overboss's tribute, which obviously will be most valuable gear. Anything left to show now is what this looks like during the night time. Fast forward to the night time. So I'd take this opportunity to explain a few more things that I neglected to mention. First of all is the TV in here. The whole reason why this is here is because it came with the settlement to begin with, in that broken down house. I think the raiders would put it to good use in here, so there you go. You may have noticed that the destroyed boat in here is now missing, and the whole reason for that because they decided to use it as a wall. Show off some of the walls actually. Yeah, as I said, this little light here lights up the liquor sign quite well. That's why I used that. Whole reason why I put this little lamp here is because the lights coming off of this armor bench was penetrating through the wall and it looked silly. So the lighting mechanics of this game, sometimes you've got to pull off little things like this to try and offset it. I really quite like the lighting in this boathouse here. Also really like how the lighting turned out here. I tried putting some powered lights in here, but they penetrated through the door of this secret bunker, which didn't look nice at all, so I had to change that. We're just getting ready for bed.
Anyone who goes up against us won't know what hit them.
Well, it won't be powerless for very long, because my character, believe it or not, is a good guy. Eventually they will turn on these raiders, and eliminate them. Our whole strategy is divide and conquer. Let the raiders spread out, take a bunch of outposts, so they're all spread out in smaller numbers, easier to pick off and easier to kill. It also means I can get all their perks and weapons and benefits. And I can still meet Preston later and be friends with him. So, happy days. Show us some more of the outer walls here from the outside. And there you have it, really. Thank you very much for tolerating me and looking at my settlement. My very first settlement I've properly built. Do let me know if you have any suggestions for any improvements. And have a wonderful day.